Hi, I'm Yegi. I'm an entrepreneur and success coach who wants it all. Family, luxury, career, and the freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want. And I'll do whatever it takes to get there. I created the Yegi Project to document my journey and inspire others to do the same. My mission is to change the world by influencing and leading others to do what they love and live fulfilled lives. Hello. Welcome back to the Yegi Project. Today's guest is Ashunta Sheriff Kendricks, who is an Emmy-nominated celebrity makeup artist with over 20 years in the beauty industry. Through her hard work on major Academy Award-winning motion pictures and through her work on the iconic character Cookie from the Fox hit TV show Empire, Ashunta has become the red carpet go-to artist for many of today's A-list Hollywood celebrities. And she has come up with her own beauty line to empower other women. So I'm so excited to get to know her and see what her journey has been like to be here today. Well, Ashunta, without further ado, please introduce yourself in your own words and tell us who are you and what do you do?
My name is Ashunta Sheriff Kendricks, and I'm a celebrity makeup artist and brand founder. I've been a makeup artist for over 25 years, and I work in the entertainment industry. I started out in fashion. I really started in retail. I started at MAC.
Nice.
MAC is kind of like the holy grail of celebrity makeup artists. Any makeup artist that I know, from whether it's Makeup by Mario or whether it's Patrick Ta or this one or that, everyone has a MAC origin story at some point in their history, right? So that's where I started. I founded Ashunta Sheriff Beauty, my eponymous makeup brand 2.5 years ago. We started.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's, listen, to make it past 2 years, they say most beauty brands don't make it past three. So we're pushing to make it past three. We started in 2022 in January with actually a lash set called Magnetized Luxury Lashes, and they were magnetic lashes that were made of plant biodegradable fiber. So they were really different from other lashes on the market because they were truly vegan because they were made from plant fiber. And then we used a mineralized vegan liquid liner adhesive to work with attaching the lashes. And we had such a huge impact because my client, Taraji P. Henson, who played Cookie on Empire, I sent her about 6 boxes, maybe 6 or 8 boxes, and she ended up posting it on her Instagram main feed page, and it went viral. And so
Wow.
that really like just set the tone for the brand. We did $50,000 in sales within like our first couple of days, and that's really the rest is history. That was the kickstart to really get the brand going, and she just did that out of love, being my client for a long time. And really, she's a makeup junkie. She loves makeup and hair products and fashion. And so she was obsessed with watching me constantly apply these magnetic lashes because we were in the pandemic, and her and I were really accustomed to used to being together like every single day because of the show. And so you got to imagine we were together every day. And then all of a sudden on March 13th, we were like not together anymore. And it was like that for like 7 years straight. So it was like really kind of like catastrophic for everybody.
And
And so, she saw me posting about like, what are these lashes? Send them to me. And I sent them to her, and the rest is history.
wow, that's beautiful and so sweet of her. And it's so nice to see women helping women as well. And congratulations. I mean, it's huge. Everybody dreams of having their own product line, makeup line, anything to really be titled as entrepreneurs. And it's really hard to kickstart, even when you have help, just the whole process. So congratulations on making it there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, before we dive more into your company, can you tell us a little bit about you? Take us back. How did you know you wanted to be a makeup artist? And from starting with MAC to your journey to being a celebrity makeup artist, can you talk a little bit about that and your journey to today?
Absolutely. So when I came out of college, I actually had a catastrophic incident that made me come home from college early, which is going to be in my book, which is everyone will have to wait for that. But then when I came home, I was temping, working little retail jobs and trying to figure things out because, I had a mission really to go to college. I was an anthropology major and I had a plan for my life. And unfortunately, when you make plans, things get derailed, right? And I was really very much so traumatized from what happened to me. So my mom and my stepdad brought me home and said, you know what, let's get you back on your feet. So I was just working here and there, and I had a office manager job at this company in Soho called Emmy Company, and I was basically like the assistant manager.
No worries.
So I basically was working at this company called Emmy Company, and it was in Soho. And the exact address I still remember, 225 Lafayette Street. And the reason why is it's such a pivotal time in my life. It was the 90s. It was, mid late 90s. And in this building, would be, a man named Vernon Jolly. Vernon Jolly represented huge photographers like David LaChapelle and Stephen Klein. And then there was another agency in that building named Betty Wright Represents. She was also an agent who represented people like myself, but that I didn't know I would become makeup artist, hairstylist, fashion stylist. And I got to know Betty really well. Just through conversations in the building. And then there were designers like Kate Spade. She was a new designer, brand new, wasn't in any store. She was selling bags out of her office, literally. God rest her soul. And then there was Seven of All Mankind, who made the Seven jeans that were really popular in the late
Oh,
80s.
yeah.
So we were all in this building. And so there were always office parties and hanging out. And so Betty Wright said to me, she was like, you do your makeup so nice. There's this MAC store that's right down the street that's just open. You should go check it out. They probably have products you'll love. And at that time, MAC wasn't anywhere else in the country except for Spring Street, Christopher Street, and I think they had the Pro store. That was the only three stores they had in New York City and in this whole country of the United States. And so I would go to the Mac store and I'd be in there for my lunchtime and I'd be like looking at product and trying on product. And then sometimes I'd be helping customers out with their, I'd be like, hey, you should get this eyeshadow.
Home.
I was just straight up giving consultations, but didn't have a job there. And then the manager there, and I tell this story all the time at makeup trade shows to makeup artists because you just never know, right? Someone plants the seed in you. And she said, do you have a job she's like, do you work at one of the other Mac stores? Mind you, there's only two others. And I said, no, I actually don't. And she said, so you don't work for Mac? She's like, are you a makeup artist? And I said, no, I'm not. She was like, well, first off, you can't help the customers because you're not a makeup artist. She was like, and you don't work for Max. She said, but second off, she's like, you're really good at what you're doing. Maybe you should apply for a job. And so it was a seed she planted. And so I applied and I did not get a job at Spring Street, right? Of course, everyone wants to hear like, she got the job. I did not get the job. But then months went by and then I saw in the back of the Daily News in the classified section that Mac was opening their first federated department store counter at Macy's Pearl Square. And they said, everyone come and apply. And this is the day. And it was that day, like the day I saw the newspaper classified article, like that they're, you know,
Meant to be.
so so I asked my then boss who I'm working for, like, can I leave early? Of course, they're like, no. And so I just was like, you know what? I was like, I'm just going to go there no matter what. I'm going to get down there and see what happens. And it said 5 sharp. So when I get there, it's like 5:10, 5:15, and the lady goes at the human resources, all of the MAC positions are closed. So I just sat down and because I'd been like running and running and I was just like, oh my God, like really, like I thought this was the moment, it didn't happen on Spring Street. Maybe it'll be now. And this man came from the back and he said, are you here for the math position? And I said, yeah, they said it's closed. He said, no, you look like a math girl. Come with me. And he took me to the back. And then when he took me to the back, hey, Tiani, he basically brought me back to this area and it was all draped in like black piping and curtains and everybody in there had on black and it was like they looked so chic and they interviewed me and my interview went way well over time and they were like, we really love your personality. As you can see, I'm a talker. And so they were like, well, you don't have the job yet. You have to do an actual in-person demonstration, bring a model. And Kit Hamilton, who was going to be the manager for that counter opening, would conduct that test. So my best friend at the time, and she's still my best friend, she's my children's godmother, is Italian. And so I called Kathy and I said, Kathy, I said, I'm going to use you as my model because you're Italian, you have white skin, and if I could do your makeup, they're gonna believe that I could do anything. And she was like, okay, bet. She's like, okay, bet, no problem. So I sat Kathy down and did the whole full demo and it was like literally a lot of pressure. It was probably about 5 or 6 makeup artists in there with their model, all on the high stool with their setup, and just they gave, they allowed us to pick product from MAC, and I was pretty familiar because I was always in the store. And I just started going to work on Kathy's makeup, and she looked stunning. And then Kit came to me and she said, okay, really beautiful. I love what you did. She was like, now I want you to apply an eyelash. And, and, to some people that would be nerve-wracking, but I've been applying eyelashes because I didn't tell you this part, that I grew up dancing. And so I've
Oh,
been applying lashes since I was literally probably like 6, 7 years old. I was actually helping my dance colleagues put their lashes on because my mom wore lashes every single day. She wore faux lashes and faux ponytails, and she was a very glamorous woman. And so
love that. It all came together for you,
it all
your
came
little mini
together.
skills.
So after the test, I did the lash. I was one of the first artists to leave. She's like, we'll be in touch. And when we left, whether I got the job or not, I was so proud of myself. And Kathy was so proud of how she looked. And guys were like catcalling her, like, ooh, you look good. And she was like, I need you to do this for me all the time. But that's where I really started to feel how makeup impacts other people. Like my friend had confidence. She never had issues with like self-worth, but this makeup like put this extra on her. And I could feel that I had something to do with that. And so that became like addictive to me, that how makeup makes people feel and that I could actually be a part of making them feel good.
That's so beautiful. And it's so true. Even just on a regular day, if I have no makeup at all, even if it's something slight and tiny, I don't feel as, like you said, I don't feel that extra boost in my confidence. So it's beautiful that you get to do that for people. And
Yeah.
not everybody can do that for themselves. So having talented artists who know how to, really focus on people's features, give them the right look, it's hard. It seems easy, but it's hard. And I know because I also have a beauty background. So I'm not the best at makeup. I've learned how to do my own, but it's hard to work with different faces. So it's awesome
Absolutely.
that you can accomplish that.
Makeup is something that's on a three-dimensional canvas. It's the art, but it talks back to you. It moves. It closes its eyes. It looks down at camera phone, at Instagram, and you're like, look up. So you have to deal with another whole being. And you have to also take people's faces and their shapes and their eye shapes and lip shapes and all those things into consideration. I know sometimes people have like a very cookie cutter way of doing makeup, which can work sometimes. You can get a kind of away with it for a while, but then when you get that person, with different features from what you're used to always dealing with, that's when you can see like, oh, this cookie cutter technique may not work. Because you really should approach each person's face the same way you're doing lash mapping. When you're doing a lash extension on people, you're mapping out based on their eye shape. So face shape is really important, and applying makeup in the right way is important.
Beautiful. Now, to get to know you a little bit better, what is one thing that most people don't know about you? I know you said you're a talker and you're working on a book, but what is this one thing that most people don't know about you?
I think most people think that I'm not introverted, but I'm a true introvert extrovert. So I'm the kind of person that when I go out, like I can do this, I can give great interviews, I can go out and be, in big public stages and talk. I could teach master classes, but then when everything is said and done and the curtain draws, I have to retreat. I have to retreat. I'm going to be to myself. I'm going to be up in my bedroom. My kids will only see me come out to like grab some food here and there because I need some time to reboost and rebuild myself because I am an introverted person who knows how to be extroverted. So
Wow.
that's something I think that a lot of people don't understand, that whole dynamic of being an introvert extrovert.
Did
That's me.
did you have to work hard to become good at the public speaking and the master classes and that extrovert part since you do enjoy being an introvert?
I think because my mom put me into things that you're performing in from a young age, that broke down that barrier of that insecure wall that sometimes an introverted person has with putting themselves out in the forefront. my mom really didn't allow me to have a choice in it. You know, she was like, you're doing dance classes, you're doing piano, you're doing vocal. And so by me getting into the practice of getting on a stage and dancing in front of a whole auditorium of 5,000 or 6,000, 7,000 people sometimes, and we have recitals, you just really like develop a persona, so to speak,
Hmm.
that helps you push through the discomfort. And so I would definitely say I still get discomfort talking to people. I have nervous tics. You know, I may sweat profusely, but I have my makeup on so well, you don't know that that's happening. I got my body barrier where it needs to be. But like when I get back to my hotel after a speaking engagement, like my whole back is sweating. So I know I'm internally stressed and nervous. However, the extroverted part of myself that knows that I have a mission, I'm purpose driven, I am here to tell somebody something in this audience, in this crowd that's going to be a spark for them. That's what drives me. So I kind of put those feelings on the back burner, and then I just deal with like regrouping myself and getting myself together later. Hey, CJ, all my kids are coming home.
Love that. All right. So if you can change one thing in the world with a magic wand, the first thing that comes to mind, what is it?
Oh my gosh, this election. No, but seriously, I feel it's not really the election, it's the division, that humanity has right now because it's one or the other, it's this or that. And at the end of the day, like human beings are just all just trying to all have really the same thing, right? The right to have a quality life, the right to pursue your dreams, the right to protect your family, the right to have access to
Mhm.
information and all of these things. So I think that that's like a commonality that human beings are looking for. And during this time, I feel like no one's really looking at those common factors that we have between each other.
Core needs of what we actually need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just really like it feels so divisive right now, like in the country, and I really don't like that. But that's one thing. If I had a magic wand, I would, because at the end of the day, we respect who votes for who. Everyone has a right to vote for whomever they want to vote for, because I'm not going to infringe my right to tell someone who they shouldn't. Because as a Black woman, that was done to us, so I'm not going to do it to anyone else. But however, we it's serious stuff happening. So I do
Yeah.
wish it was a magic wand to make things be a little bit better in our country in that way.
Yeah, definitely agree. Now we like to talk about challenges because this is an entrepreneurship, personal development podcast. So we like to talk about challenges because we all go through them. I think what really sets successful people apart is how they handle those challenges and what they do to overcome it. Do you have a story for us of when you went through a challenge personally or within your business, and what did you do to overcome it?
Absolutely. I have tons of challenges and I've overcome and continue to overcome. But one of the biggest challenges was in 2012, I actually had a brand and it was called Perfect Blend by Ashunta Sheriff. We ended up getting on QVC. So I was one of the first few Black-owned brands to go on QVC in 2012.
Is this
We
also
went
a makeup brand? I'm sorry to cut you
this was a makeup brand. It was a dual-ended foundation stick. So it was the first double-ended foundation stick on the market where it had the lighter side and the darker side. I came out with it before Kim K, before
off.
anyone else.
Good
Um,
for
a-
you.
and we were hit with trademark infringement because the name of the brand, Perfect Blend by Ashunta Sharif, my business partner didn't do due diligence to trademark that whole thing. He assumed to trademark just the Perfect Blend and not the Ashunta Sharif part. And what happened is that someone actually owned that trademark Perfect Blend. So we were in direct competition with them, and so
Hmm.
they asked for us to cease and desist. It was a lawsuit. I got pulled off QVC. I had to go recoup all my
Oh,
product from the warehouse.
my gosh, I'm crying inside for you. That's horrible.
So it was a major challenge. However, here I am sitting on your podcast in 2024 in November, about to be November, right? And we're 2.5 years in my new beauty brand, Ashusha Sharif Beauty. So what I will tell people is something that was, a huge, huge challenge, or even to some, like a valley. Like it was a valley for me to go from QVC to being taken off air, to go from I'm excited. And this is right when Instagram started. So I posted on Instagram, it's like everywhere. And so it was highly embarrassing, all those things. And what I will say to people is that no one remembers really that I went through that. All they remember is that that stick was amazing and that they loved it. And when am I going to bring it back? And I get asked that even now with my current makeup line. So the challenge was something that took me years to overcome. I wouldn't say it was an overnight thing because it was bankruptcy. It was all this product I had inherited, thousands of pieces of product that now I'm down to like a couple of hundred pieces that have been in a controlled storage. And now I'm finally about to offload that. So now it's like fully like closed door. So, never give up. Like when you have these challenges,
And that's a huge challenge to overcome that and be like, okay, I'm going to try this again. I learned what I needed to learn, which is, make sure you do your research in your case for the trademarks, copyright, all that information. And it's sad, like, sometimes it's you do the research, and if the very big brand has really good lawyers,
oh, it's over.
little guys are always
Yeah, the little guys get hurt. But what I will say too is in 2012 and 2011 was, we were starting production. None of the information and resources that we have on business and trademarking, like I can go to YouTube University right now and
yeah,
learn everything that I need to learn.
but
All of
back
that all of that information really didn't exist. And I was, you as a creative person, myself, I'm saying me as a creative person, I wasn't a business minded person. I knew like, okay, I know what my rate is to charge Alicia Keys. I know that I should get per diem for this. Like I knew my
of
wheelhouse of
course.
business as a celebrity makeup artist, but I had no clue of what it was to be an entrepreneur. And so that's what I had to go to the school of hard knocks, bankruptcy, trademark infringement, product overstock, all of the nightmare things that you hear brands go through. And I had to physically walk on the coals of fire, myself. But what that has done has given me a strength. Like right now, we're still bootstrappy. We're a niche beauty brand and we're not, selling hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. But I'm so much more optimistic than I was then because I have so much more knowledge of what
Mm-hmm.
I know I need to do. And I still make mistakes.
Of course.
Yeah, when you're an entrepreneur, you don't have it all figured out. That's part of it, right? Part of it
And
is
there's
learning as you
nobody to
go.
tell you, no matter how much information is out there, honestly, you do learn a lot from experience. So I love that you share that story because it really made you resilient to keep going and learn and try and, maybe like not make the same mistake, but at least even know that, hey, even if I make a mistake, even if it's horrible, what's worse that could happen? I'm going to get through it. At the end of the day,
Yes.
I'm going to stand back up. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to try something new, whatever it's going to take. And I think that's so powerful.
Yeah, you have to keep going. You can't let things detour you from the purpose. And sometimes, like some of these stripes, as I call them, that entrepreneurs they're war stripes. They really are. And that's how come, when you see entrepreneurs get to a place where their brands are acquired, they've got the biggest smile on their face because they're like, I did it. So at the end, even if they don't get to a place where they're acquired, where they get to a place where they're cash flow positive and they really can do what they want to do, they're like, look back, like, look what I went through. And I've seen a lot of brands who I've watched start at that same time in 2012, like when I was starting, and I've watched them go like up and down in this struggle. And now I'm seeing some of those brands, have such great success. So there's something to be told, right? With just sticking to it and not giving up and just being resilient.
Beautiful. Now, what does a happy and fulfilled life look like to you today? And was it different maybe 10 or 20 years ago when you first started in the makeup industry?
I think that a happy and fulfilled life for me when I first became a makeup artist, and especially once I started doing celebrities, I think that my whole life was kind of wrapped around in my celebrity work. And not that I was wrapped around my celebrity clients and them, but just what I had to do, So if Alicia put out an album, for example, or when she put out an album, when she put out Diary of Alicia Keys, we toured that album for almost 2.5 years. We were on the road back and forth. So there
Mm.
was so much sacrifice. I had a young daughter at that time. And thank God for my mom, who was my huge support system to help me watch her. And then I ended up having my son Jordan about maybe about 8, 9 more years into the journey. At that point, I still was with Alicia because I was with Alicia for almost 14 years. So, I was literally like lactating and on the
My
road,
gosh, I
you
can't
know.
imagine how difficult that must have been. I have young kids now, so I refuse to travel for work.
So, so, so as you can see, like that, when you're a single mother and that's what you have no choice, you're the person that's the breadwinner, that's putting the food on the table, that's
Yeah,
handling
it
things.
takes a lot of
My mom, yeah,
sacrifice.
so it's a lot of sacrifice. So I think that what was happiness for me then was making sure that I had things covered, that, my kids had a roof over their head, that there was food in the house, that bills were taken care of, and it was kind of like by any means necessary, get the work done. But in the interim, your kids do suffer. And to say that as a mom, that I look back and my kids haven't had moments of sadness or even depression, from me traveling all the time, from them being as young as 4 and 5 years old, I would be lying to moms out here saying
Yeah,
my kids I haven't, had to put them in therapy and talk with them about,
it's the
their feelings.
reality.
That's
That's
the
the
reality.
reality. We all
So
have to sacrifice and do what it takes, and our priorities change and shift. And
yes,
of course, your basic needs is like, okay, I'm a mother. I need to provide, right? Once I can provide, I know my kids are where they need to be. Then you worry more about, okay, the quality time. Like first, let me make sure we're surviving.
exactly. And now, all these years later, my daughter's going to be 26 years old. My son is 17, and he's about to graduate high school. And I have four beautiful kids, that are here with me, with my husband, who I've been married to now for 5 years. So I have a new blended family. So my priority is really, even though I still work a lot, my priority is my family because I'm here with them more. I don't necessarily pick up for every single job. I've had job opportunities come and I go, I don't necessarily want to do that. So I sometimes have had the blessing in recent times to pick and choose the things that I really want to focus on because I have the brand. And so that's
Yeah,
my priority. The brand is
I
my priority. My family is my priority. And if my celebrity clients, certain ones call me, I'll come out, but not all of them, because it's not worth it for me anymore. Like the main focus now is creating this legacy brand that will change my family's life.
Beautiful. I love that. And I love that you had to go through that journey because I think it really makes us strong when we have to even work hard for something and sacrifice. Now looking back, I see, of course, we see how your priorities changed and what a meaningful life looked like to you. Would you change anything if you were to go back, or any lessons you want to share with our young entrepreneurs or makeup artists who are trying really hard today to make it?
I would definitely say I don't think I would change anything. I think I did everything that I was supposed to do. I networked, and I would give this advice to young entrepreneurs and young beauty creatives out here who are trying to make it in the entertainment industry or fashion or film and TV, whatever. I would say that the word of advice is to be kind to people. You never know who is who. And I learned that early on when I first became a makeup artist. Some of my clients' assistants were the people who I dealt with on a day-to-day basis, and some of those assistants have now grown to be the presidents of record labels. So you have to understand that that person who seems to be low on the totem pole now, they won't be low on the totem pole forever. And I'm only saying quote unquote low because they're not low. Every man matters. Every person matters when you're in a business and you have an assistant or PA or whomever. They are the ones holding the foundation together. So you want to start by always being kind to everyone. And another thing is you want to assist people. So if you want to become the best lash expert, they should be reaching out to you to find out like, hey, how can I shadow you? How can I apprentice you? Or if you want to be a celebrity makeup artist, look up celebrity makeup artists, look them up on social media. They all are there now. Some of them are not globally famous like some of the influencers. Some of the biggest, makeup artists in the world that like did the biggest A-list stars, you may not even know who they are. So start learning and researching because you may have people you can have access to mentor you and be a guide to you in this career, but you just have to know who they are and take the time to do the research. Another thing too is make sure you're very mindful that you keep your social clean. I can't reiterate that enough with especially the younger generation. We don't need to see your extracurricular activities. on your social feed, put them in your stories because they're going to disappear, right? If you must. But for the most part, treat your social media platform like a professional platform, even though it's a social platform.
Yeah.
It's a platform that businesses are looking at when they want to hire you. So you want to make sure you have work there represented, that you have good work represented, and that you are looking professional and buttoned up. So I would say those are like my best tips for people in terms of putting themselves out there. And don't be afraid to DM makeup artists. You may not hear back from someone, in a week or 2 weeks. Just, don't be upset. Realize that these people have lives and they're super busy. And if they're like me, they're traveling every second. They may be not in the country. But I always kind of go back to my DMs and look and see who's been reaching out. And I'll reach back out to people. I'm like, hey, so sorry I've been delayed. Such and such and such. Nice to meet you. How can I help you? And then I make connections because there's nothing wrong with making these connections. And that's how you build a network and grow.
I love that. Those are all amazing advice. Thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
For a lot of our audience, I'm sure they are wondering, how did you start working with celebrities? Because that's some people's goals and dreams, but they don't know where to start to get to the celebrities. Is it word of mouth, networking you talked about? What was your journey personally?
Celebrity work is a circle that you have to break into. It absolutely is. And it's not something you can just pull up your phone and get into it. It really requires knowing all the right people, being connected to the right connections. And so for me, I got into celebrity work through a friend who basically loved my work, called me 5 o'clock in the morning one Sunday randomly and was like, "Hey, are you available for like now?" And I was like, now? And she's like, yeah. She's like, meet the 15 passenger van, 6 a.m. at Port Authority and jump into it and take the van to set. And I'm like, what? And this is in like, in the this is like literally like 2000. And so you have to think like 15 passenger van, Port Authority, random, like we could never do that stuff now, right? Like it's a big risk when you think about it. Ended up being a group called 112 who was signed to Bad Boy. And the song that was music video was Dance With Me. And so I ended up working on that music video. I ended up grooming the male talent in the video because their makeup artist had an accident. So I had to like get them started until he showed up and then he maintained them. But that work got me noticed by someone's assistant. And that someone's assistant was P. Diddy. And P. Diddy became my first celebrity client.
Wow. What
So
a
he was
fool.
so he was my first client in 2000, and then through working with Diddy, I worked with him for like 5 years. I ended up working with Usher and Jay-Z and doing Nike campaigns and really just kind of dominating this male grooming or male beautification space, which I wasn't, you know, really trying to be. I was a makeup artist. I wanted to do women's makeup. But by doing those guys, a lot of times they would also have me do the female leads in their videos, or they would have me do their girlfriends or fiancés or whatever the girls were, and do makeup. And so,
Dude, once you started and if you're liked, then of course it's just like word of mouth, but in that
yes,
circle and they're
and
gonna
that's
refer
what
you.
happened. So Diddy was the first, and literally through him, Usher's mom called and said, "Who is Diddy using? He's been looking great." And then, next thing I'm working with Usher, next thing you know, I'm being called for Jay-Z. And so that's literally how it happened. It started off in that one music video. And then it
That's
put me
great.
into a circle. And once I was in that circle, then my name was being circulated around to different people in the industry. And then I ended up doing a vote or die commercial in 2004. Funny enough, another election year. It was when Bush was running against Clinton, and Diddy and Lee Daniels did this whole commercial called Vote or Die. And it was really to engage the hip hop community, black community, the black
Yeah.
and brown community to really like get out and vote, whatever. And one of the people featured in the commercial was Alicia Keys, and they hired me to do her makeup. And the rest is history. I did Lisa's makeup, and I ended up with her for 14 years. Actually left Diddy to be with Lisa.
Honestly, that says a lot. To be with somebody for 14 years in today's world, that like doesn't exist. Everything and everyone's so like changeable, disposable, things change. So it says a lot about you, that how much you're liked and respected and how good you are at what you do for somebody to keep you around that long.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, tell us a little bit about your beauty brand. Introduce some of your products. How did you come up with them? What do you want them to be known for? What's your passion behind your brand?
So basically, our passion behind our brand is we're basically empowerment through innovation and inclusivity. That's our whole like tagline. I'm actually going to pull this over here.
Yeah,
Let me
let's
grab
do it.
this. Let me grab this. Yeah, this little product bag. I had it here, but I put it all the way over here. But I have a few products here that we can like talk about. So we actually have in my makeup bag, this is actually my own, but this is our diamond sponge. The
Mm-hmm.
reason why I made the diamond sponge is because when you have another shape sponge, you you tend to have to squeeze to
Yeah.
get into the crevices. So with a diamond, I don't have to squeeze. I can lay it down and really get in those
Ah.
crevices without squeezing and putting any extra strain on or stress on the hand. This is Blur Effects Foundation. It comes in 14 shades. We have all the way from Fair Goddess to Chocolate Suede. It's
Oh,
blurring.
those names.
I know. They have really cool names. So it's blurring technology. So it acts like a primer as well as a foundation, but in the lid is a full size concealer. So literally it's your
Wow.
concealer and your foundation all wrapped into one. So really innovative. It has amazing ingredients, hyaluronic acid, squalene, niacinamide, and it's a mineral based formulation.
Yeah, and for people like me who like to have literally minimal amount of products, I
Right.
love that that one has a concealer within the same bottle.
Yes, and it's a brightening lifting concealer, so it actually lifts and brightens the under eye area. Then this product here is called Thermal Blush. It's actually what I'm wearing on my lips and my cheek. So I'll show it to you because I'll tone my cheek down a little bit so we can see the product pay off. Thermal Blush is actually like a colorless. As you can see, it's really pretty clear and
Uh-huh.
it goes off your body's pH. So when you apply it, it's going to color adjust. See that?
Wow.
So
How
it
does
color
that work? How does that science work?
So this works with the body's pH, literally, and so that's what's going to happen is it's going to change different for each person. Everyone's going to have a different pH, and it's going to look totally different on each person. But it universally works for all skin tones. It works for you, it works for me, it works for deeper. So we have really cool stuff. And then this is our Browsing Brow Gel, which is an amazing product. You get like a huge amount of brow gel in this really laminates those brows and really quaffs them so like gets them locked in place but not hard because
Mm,
that's a big complaint from people. They feel like their brows are hard. So
yeah.
this gives you a strong hold, but you still feel like hair. And it doesn't crystallize on you. And it's also washes right out of your spoolie brushes with simple warm water. So it doesn't even destroy like these brushes, which get totally destroyed. Then we have this product, which we just released this summer, which is our Fat and Juicy mascara, and it is the only wand on the market. Did you see what the wand just did?
Oh my gosh. Yes, I could see it's tilting.
So it tilts on 180 degree. It can go here, 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 all the way to straight. But what this really allows us to do, and I can actually apply it, is this allows me to get all the way into the corner of my lashes without hitting the inside of
Oh
the
my
eye.
gosh, I have a best friend and I'm gonna share this story because I think it's hilarious. And she always has raccoon eyes on top, in the corners, everywhere. Anytime she wears mascara, she has to make sure that's the first thing she does, or else her whole makeup is ruined. So I could
Yes.
see why this could be such a great tool for mascara wearers. But you know, I'm in the lash extensions world, so
So
you need
you
to come.
already know.
Yeah, you need to come up with mascara for lash extensions for me.
That's actually a good idea because people end up putting mascara on their lashes anyway, when they have lash extensions. I know because we do it all the time
Yeah,
myself.
yeah, especially
So,
when they want a brighter look.
hmm so yeah, I said I might as well do both eyes. But yeah, so that's how that works. That bendy one is like phenomenal. It's like game changer. And then we have other fun stuff
Are you
too, like
guys the only one who has the bendy wand? Did you
right.
trademark everything this time?
We can't trademark this because it's actually a component that already existed, believe it or not. It's just that nobody was using it.
Huh,
So we're
interesting.
using it. So I haven't seen another brand use it yet. And then this product is really cool. This is actually, I'm gonna swipe it and see if you can see it on camera. But this is our unicorn. multi-dimensional glow. So I got a
Uh-huh.
good, I'm just white. Look at that. Can you see?
Wow. And I'll describe it for our podcast audience who are not watching the video, but it does have a really nice shine to it.
Yeah, so this gives you basically it, and it's hard to see it on this light. I mean, I wish you could see it the way I see it, and but it gives basically the integrity of a rainbow.
Yeah, I
So
see it. I see
mhm.
it. I feel like
So
it's unicorn.
it's a unicorn, so it can go on the eyes, it can go as a highlighter, it can go in all those places. And then we have like our vegan matte lip creams. They come in 20 shades. They're waterproof, smudge resistant, transfer resistant. Once fully dried, we use them all the time to do fun color combinations. You can use them also on the lip and the eye. So you can use these as eyeshadows, as matte cream eyeshadows, or you can use them as matte cream lips. Or I actually go a step further and use Foxy Brown to fill in my eyebrows and do my contour because it is a matte cream, so it actually works as a super great multitasking product. And then I'm trying to think of anything else in here, but that was it in my magic bag for you.
Okay, so if you were to pick one product, what's your favorite currently? I'm sure your answer can change, but right
Thermal
now.
blush. Thermal blush is our number one selling product. We've
Wow.
sold over 20,000 units of thermal blush in the past year. We've been featured on the Today Show. It's been voted by Oprah Daily as one of the top liquid blushes on the market. It's like a serum meets blush because of the ingredients: hyaluronic acid, it has squalene, it has neem leaf, it has sunflower seed, rose hips, geranium, as well as aloe vera, and I'm missing apple essence. And so it has really great skin loving ingredients. And
And
so
that
you can,
one product
and that
anybody
one
can,
product
yeah.
anybody can use. So that's why I really love thermal blush because it just kind of takes the guesswork out of blushing. It's amazing on mature skin. I know like mature skin are always like, I don't want to use too much blush. And when I put it on people, they're like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I needed. Because it just gives the skin just this burst of flush color. And I always tell people like, oh, if it's too strong, like I like a lot of blush, but maybe you don't. It's really a simple fix. You just take a little bit of your, you know this because you're a makeup girl, but you can always take, your foundation and always tone down that side. And
Yeah,
then
and it
and then
blends nicely
and
with
then
it.
this
It
one,
doesn't
yeah.
layer.
So you don't have to have it bold and strong like me. You can have it subtle, but you're gonna have your cheek stains and your lip stains all day. And then even with the lip stain, I always tell people, they're like, well, it's not a gloss. I'm like, yeah, but all I have to do is just take a clear gloss and
Put it on top. So it feels like you could do so much with that one product.
one product, exactly. So that's why I love Thermoblush. I love all of our products, but Thermoblush I'm very proud of because it's one of the products I formulated. This is another product I formulated, which is setting spray, which we call Beauty Fix-It Spray. And once it goes on and locks in place, again, skin loving, healthy ingredients, you see it gives a glow to the skin. So you're not going to have like this matte crusty, dried down look that happens with some of the setting sprays. This one's actually going to still let the skin. And then once this is fully dried, you're transfer proof, you're waterproof, but you still have like good radiant looking skin. This is another product. I formulated this during the same time with Perfect Blend. So this actual product,
Those are your
this,
top two winners.
yeah, these are my top two winners.
I love it, love it. All right, so for anybody who's curious, a life of a makeup artist, entrepreneur, mom, amazing woman, I don't know what else to say, but what does
Crazy
your
woman, a crazy woman.
what does your daily life look like? Everybody likes to know a day in the life, right? So what are your routines? Do you have like a very structured week, a day? Do you kind of play it by ear? What does a day in your life look like today?
A day in the life can look really different for me every single day, but I would say what's continuously a part of my day is meetings. So I'm always meeting, whether it's a podcaster like yourself, or maybe I'm having an interview, with a magazine, or maybe I'm having conversations and meetings regarding other contractors that we want to bring on to do different things, like for influencer marketing or my social media team. So every day is meetings. But the beginning of my day always starts with, like me just kind of like centering myself. I have my daily affirmations that I really love to listen to, and it's 20 minutes. I put them in, listen to it, kind of get myself grounded for the day. Go out, walk my dog. I walk him usually most weekdays, unless like my kids are home from school, then they'll walk him. But if they go to school, I'm typically the one walking them in the morning. And then after I do my walking, then I like sit down and kind of like write my schedule out, like what I need to do. And then maybe I'm bouncing into meetings. I'm also a part of different cohort accelerator programs. So I'm like in kind of almost like school sometimes. So yeah, the days are really active, and then you hear kids coming in like now, right after school, and I've got teenagers, and they're all coming home, and everybody's getting a little hungry, and so there's some dinner being made. I don't cook every night. Sometimes my husband cooks. Sometimes our oldest son Jordan does the cooking. But the good thing is with it's a very teamwork around here. We like just really try to
That's
help each other.
very nice. I love it. Well, it sounds like you have a very nice routine going for yourself and your business. And we are running short on time. It's about that time to tell us where people can find you. And of course, we'll link the website to the beauty brand. But if they want to connect and network with you, where can they find you? And what is your last words of encouragement for our listeners today?
Absolutely. I would definitely say my last words of encouragement for your listeners is the key word we keep saying, be resilient. Part of success is not letting that no be finality. No doesn't always mean no. It's no for now. And I learned that from my team who I have, is amazing, my retail team, Tim and Joelle. That's their motto for me all the time. So when we
Oh,
get
yeah,
things,
that's number one for sales. No
yeah.
doesn't exist. It's just no for
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
just no for right now. So when you if you get a no that celebrity makeup artist doesn't need assistance, it's no for now. But stay in touch with that celebrity makeup artist or that person you're trying to hairstylist you're trying to apprentice under. Why? Because it could be a situation that you become top of mind just because you stay in communication and stay in touch. And what does staying in touch look like? It doesn't mean every single day. You don't have to hound anyone down, but just during the holidays, hey, happy Thanksgiving, Ashunta. Hoping all is good. Just checking to see if you need any help out this holiday season. Just be on top of staying in touch with people because that could be the thing that actually pushes you through the pendulum to get an opportunity. So be resilient. Be resilient and know that no is just no for now. No is not forever. Now, how people can find me, they can find our brand at www.ashuntabeauty.com. And they can find the brand on social media at Ashunta Sheriff Beauty on Instagram, or you can find me at Ashunta Sheriff Kendricks on Instagram. And on TikTok, we're also at Ashunta Sheriff Beauty or at Ashunta Sheriff Kendricks. Same thing.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, again, thank you so much for your time, Ashunta. You've been amazing and motivational and inspirational for me and for our listeners. And I wish you all the best luck with your brand. I hope for you to be one of the top #1 makeup art brands in the future. I look forward to seeing that happen. But until next time, it was a pleasure. Have a great rest of your day. And thank you so much to our audience and our listeners for tuning in each week. And until next time. Bye. Thank you for listening. Please rate and review this podcast. Follow and engage with us on social media under the Yegi Project. And if you're interested in being a guest, email info@theyegiproject.com. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes.